The sky over eastern China broke open with thunder. Clouds, swollen and black, unleashed torrents so heavy it felt as if the heavens had collapsed. Within hours, Anhui and Jiangsu were drowning. Streets turned into rivers. Towns dissolved into the flood. The Huai River, long a source of life, became a force of destruction. Its waters burst through levees like shattered glass, tearing across farmland and cities alike. The river no longer flowed. It roared, devouring everything in its path. In Fuyang, the night was chaos. Sirens screamed. Families woke to the sound of water hammering against doors and windows. Within minutes, homes were filling like sinking ships. Cars lifted from the ground, spinning helplessly before crashing into walls. One van was tossed into a storefront and crushed into scrap. On the roof of a single-story house, an old woman clung to the tiles, her gray hair whipping in the wind. She prayed into the storm until a helicopter's beam cut through the rain. At dawn, she was pulled to safety. But for hundreds of others, there was no rescue. Further east, Huai'an and Suqian disappeared beneath a brown inland sea. Rice fields ready for harvest lay buried under meters of floodwater. Livestock and tractors vanished. Farmers stood knee-deep in the water, staring at the ruins of their work. Some shouted in despair. Others fell silent, too hollow for words. Bridges cracked apart. Highways folded into rivers. Rescue teams tried to push forward, but the maps had become useless. Roads no longer existed. Helicopters circled above, spotting survivors waving from rooftops, their voices carried away by the storm. By midnight, electricity failed. Cities fell into blackness. Communications went dead. Villages in the hills were cut off entirely, then no signal, no power, only the endless roar of water in the valleys. People lit fires on ridges, hoping someone would see. At dawn, officials finally admitted the truth. The disaster was beyond control. Over 80,000 people had fled. Shelters overflowed with families clutching what little they had managed to save. Blankets, photographs, a child's toy. Everything else had been lost. The government raised red flood alerts across the region. Levees crumbled one after another. Relief convoys crept toward drowned towns, slowed at every turn by broken bridges and shattered roads. Where trucks could not pass, rescuers formed human chains, dragging strangers from the current. From the air, the land looked like a vast ocean, villages erased, crops gone, roads cut. Only rooftops and treetops broke the surface, scattered like islands in a new, merciless sea. Within this sea were human stories. A 7-year-old boy, clutching the wrist of a rescuer, refusing to let go. His parents swept away in the night. A young mother holding her newborn high above her head for hours as floodwater hammered the walls around her. An old man bracing his door with a stick, unwilling to abandon the home he had built with his own hands even as the river battered it apart. Rescue boats searched through drowned neighborhoods. In one district, families waved frantically from rooftops while the waters tore walls from beneath them. In another, a school became a refuge for 24 villagers, their candles flickering low as they waited for help. Everywhere, the same sights repeated. People stranded on balconies, rooftops, treetops, waving, calling, hoping. Beneath them, the water carried away fragments of their lives. A shoe, a bicycle, the beams of a house. And still the rain did not stop. By evening, eastern China no longer looked like farmland or city. It looked like an endless storm lake, cruel, vast, and unrelenting. For the displaced, the future was a question mark. For those still trapped, it was a race against the rising dark. This was not a storm. This was not a flood. This was catastrophe. Merciless, unyielding, and far from over.
我操！这种地质灾害。